Welcome to Behind the Veil, a video podcast powered by the national nonprofit media platform, American Muslim Today. This is your AMT Global News Bulletin, bringing you the top headlines from around the world and across the U.S. Don't forget to subscribe to American Muslim Today, where the headlines meet hard truth. Today is Wednesday, July 23rd, and here are the stories making news. Tonight, President Donald Trump claims he has struck what he calls the largest trade deal in history with Japan, but so far there's no confirmation from Tokyo. Trump announced the deal during a Republican gathering, asserting Japan will invest $550 billion into the U.S. under his direction, with America taking 90% of the profits. However, he offered no documentation or details. Japanese trade negotiator was indeed in Washington, but Japanese media are only quoting Trump's Truth Social posts. Key U.S. tariffs on Japanese imports, including cars and rice, are set to be set at 15%. Yet Japanese automakers already build millions of cars in America, and rice imports are tightly regulated. Analysts say the announcement reads more like campaign messaging than a formal trade breakthrough.
Former President Barack Obama has pushed back forcefully against Donald Trump's latest accusation, calling it outrageous and bizarre. Trump accused Obama of treason and claimed he rigged the 2016 and 2020 elections, citing now debunked theories promoted by officials like Tulsi Gabbard and John Ratcliffe. Obama's spokesperson said the Trump camp is recycling discredited narratives and misleading the public. Trump's remarks came after being asked about Jeffrey Epstein, which he redirected to Obama's so-called criminality. Intelligence reports, both in 2016 and reaffirmed in 2020, conclude that Russia did interfere in U.S. elections but did not alter vote counts. Gabbard says she's making a criminal referral, but critics view the move as political theater aimed at deflecting from Trump's own controversies.
Outrage is mounting after ICE agents detained an Afghan interpreter known only as Zia during a GreenCard appointment in Connecticut. Zia worked with U.S. forces in Afghanistan for years and fled after the Taliban returned to power. He entered the U.S. legally in 2024 under a special immigrant visa. His attorney says Zia followed every rule and has no criminal history. ICE claims he's under investigation for a serious criminal allegation, though no charges have been made public. Lawmakers, including Senator Richard Blumenthal and Representative Jahana Hayes, are demanding his release, calling the arrest a betrayal of America's promise to its wartime allies. Zia is now in a Massachusetts detention center, terrified of being deported back to the country he risked everything to escape.
And finally, concerns over political interference in the U.S. Federal Reserve are rising, especially among economists surveyed by Reuters. Over 70% say the Fed's independence is under threat, with Trump allies inside the central bank diverging from its cautious approach. Fed Chair Jerome Powell is resisting calls to cut interest rates this July, despite rising inflation and internal pressure. Two Trump-appointed governors, Michelle Bowman and Chris Waller, are publicly pushing for cuts, stoking fears of politicization. While no rate change is expected this month, economists remain divided on what lies ahead. A September cut is likely, but long-term clarity is elusive, especially with Trump's reciprocal tariffs potentially triggering inflation or slowing the economy. For now, Powell still holds the reins, but for how long remains uncertain. That's it for now. Thank you for joining me on Behind the Veil. If you value our public service journalism, please support American Muslim Today, a 501c3 nonprofit, by following us on social media at American Muslim Today or donating at AmericanMuslimToday.com. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.